Recording. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this second part of the demo in which I was trying to doing some squats and basically this, we were using MediaPipe just to check if a squat was done properly. And the thing is that, yeah, it was actually working really fine, but we can do better, right? We can, instead of just showing the result out of the standard output channel from VS Code or from the terminal, instead of that, we can use some sort of device that, for example, we can see here. We can see a device here that it's an Arduino. If you don't have an Arduino or any board like this, well, you can get one by 10 with just 10 pounds, and the electronics that I'm going to use probably will add up to a total of 12 pounds, including the Arduino. It's quite cheap. But in case you have a Raspberry Pi for some reason or something similar, this project will be very similar. The only thing that you will have to do is, instead of using the library that I'm going to show you now, is going to will be using the corresponding library. So first of all, let me let me share my screen, and I'm going to show you where we left last week. And today I prepare a lot of cameras. So I have the camera that is showing my face. You will see a camera that is, let's see, okay, camera two. Camera two is going to show, camera two is actually going to be this one here that I have. And it's going to show basically the body position that I will show you on the background. Well, I will have to remove the green screen, but basically, yeah, I have like 3 different cameras. So we don't have to juggle around all the cameras. Cool. And yeah, we were using this just to make sure that I was doing squat properly. So in case you need to catch up or something like that, you can always take a look at the video in which I'm doing basically this same stuff. Okay, so all right, so let me remove and the chair very quickly and see, yeah. So if I hold in the position, it's saying good job. If not, it won't print anything. That was basically it. Okay, but as I said, we can do better. We can do better. Instead of just showing good job here, which is I mean, from that position where I was earlier, it was a little bit difficult to see good job or if I had to do anything else. So what I'm going to do is going to use my Arduino here on the second screen that I'm showing through my phone. Basically, I'm going to use this Arduino to send some signals to some LEDs, and those LEDs are going to help me just showing how much I should hold the position and how many repetitions I've done so far. So first of all, this one here is going to be just a small demo. I have the circuit that I'm going to use is already here. I'm gonna show you some diagrams, some circuit diagrams very shortly, just to show you more or less how they are connected. Don't worry, this is not an electronics lesson, so you don't have to know a lot about electronics or LEDs and all that stuff. But yeah, if by any chance you want to give this a try, you can always go back to this video, take a look at the diagrams that I'm going to show you, and just use those, replicate those connections. Okay, so as I said, we are going to use an Arduino. And the first project, if you have ever used an Arduino or some sort of board like this, you have probably seen this project in which you make an LED blink. It will turn on for 1 second, it will turn off for 1 second, turn on, turn off, and so on and so forth. So the only thing that we need to do before using Arduino on Python will be installing Arduino in our computer. And I'm going to connect this Arduino here to my computer. All right, now you can see that that is connected thanks to this light here. Maybe you cannot see it very well, but yeah, it's already on. And the diagram that we have, well, basically the circuit that we have on this Arduino correspond to this one here. Well, in this case, I have a green LED instead of a red LED, but it's basically the same. It's connected to pin number 13. Okay, so before, as I said, before we can use Arduino from Python, we need to download this Arduino IDE and go to File. Well, first of all, sorry, that's go to Tools and look for the port corresponding to our Arduino. In this case, is the dev TTY ACM0. Just select that one. We can see that Arduino is connected from this on this port, and then go to File, Examples, and look for Fermata, and go with the standard Fermata. This will basically enable all the protocols that Arduino is going to need to be communicated with Python. So I'm gonna deploy this. I'm gonna upload this standard Fermata into our Arduino, and you can see that now a couple of LEDs have been, well, there's some LEDs that are just turning on, turning off, and that's it. That means that everything worked fine. So now that we have that, we can just use the PyFermata library or module. And as always, you can install that by going like pip install PyFermata. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong virtual environment actually. So conda activate MediaPipe. Cool. And we can say pip install PyFermata. It's already installed, and actually it doesn't take a lot of time. Now we are ready to use Arduino using Python. But the first thing that we have to provide is the port in which our Arduino is connected to. So remember that we were in dev TTY ACM0. Okay, now it's establishing the connection. And now take a look at the LED. The LED here. The LED right now it's turned off. It's not showing any light. But as soon as I run this cell, turn on. So basically, this means that Arduino is going to go to a digital pin number 13, and it's going to write a true or a Boolean 1. So that means that it's going to be true. So it activates that pin. We can do the opposite. Instead of saying 1, we can go with digital 13, write 0. And now, as soon as I run this, the LED turns off. Okay, that's nothing fancy. It's just an LED going on and off. Nothing really fancy, as I was saying. And we can do some other stuff. For example, as I was mentioning earlier, one of the first projects that you do when you handle an Arduino is a blinking project in which the LED is going to turn on and off. Oops, sorry. Stop that. It's going to turn on and off like indefinitely. So you can see now here on the camera that the LED is turning on and off. Cool, so let's stop this. Okay, now we know how to use Arduino from Python. Very simple, nothing really complicated. So instead of using just a single LED, I'm gonna connect the other Arduino that I have here with all the cool connections. Okay. but now maybe the port has changed. So, okay, let me actually show it to you like this. Let's see if I can put that right. Can you see more or less the LEDs? Cool. Yeah, I'm not sure if they are really bright. Let's see if I can move camera a little bit more. Yeah, more or less, I think. Yes, nice. All right. Thanks, Pete. All right. So now that I connect a new Arduino, probably I will have to change this this port. So let's look for the port that is connected to port ACM1. Okay, so ACM1. Now this is a diagram that I created myself. It's don't judge me. It's really ugly, I know. But basically, this represents the 3 LEDs that you can see on camera, and the seven segment display here that you can see that's now bright. Okay, so first of all, I prepared a class named Arduino body that when initialized, it basically connects to the Arduino that I have, and it contains some methods just to turn on, turn off, some LEDs, turn on a range of LEDs, and this one here, well, all these methods here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and all of that, they are going to change the connection, well, not the connection, sorry, the signals given to the seventh segment, just to represent a 1, a 2, a 3. So let's see how that works. And yep, we are using this class that I'm importing from the same directory. And remember that we were on TTY ACM1. So for example, let's see that I want to turn on number 12, which will represent I think it was the red LED. And if everything went fine, yep, now you can see that the red one is turned on. And let's say that I want to turn on the LED, turn on 11, for example. And if I turn on 10, now we have the whole traffic light. And as I said, we can also call the one method and take a look at the 7 segment. It's showing now a number 1. If I go with 2, but to make things a little bit easier later on, you can also, I made something for indexing numbers. So if I say R2 and just accessing the first item, it will change it to 1. If I go with, let's say 5, it will show a 5. That will make things easier. And in case you're curious about how to do it, you can create a new variable, a new attribute called count that will be increased or will be accessed every time we use the magic method get item. If you don't know what magic methods are now, don't worry, you will see that through the content. This is just a demo actually, so it's not really mandatory to know all of this, but it will make things easier later with the squad thing. Okay, now we know how to use the Arduino. We have a small board that is going to help me a little bit on how to perform these squats. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do here on the body notebook, which contained the the code that was telling me if the squat was done properly. I'm going to also initialize our Arduino, and if everything goes fine, we should see all the LEDs has been turned off, except for the 7 segment. And okay, first of all, I'm not going to do anything yet here, because I want to go step by step with you, and I want to show you a little bit on this. Okay, this is basically what we had earlier, more or less. Yeah, so we calculate the angle on between, the angle between, sorry, the angle of the lines that form my knee and my hip, and my knee and my ankle. And we can take a look at that angle just to see if the squat was done properly. Let's see if this works, just in case. Maybe Cool. All right. Right now, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to tell me whether something is, whether whether the squat is done properly. But it looks like, yeah, the number of degrees is correct. We should be around, that number. Remember that, well, probably I shouldn't talk too much because I always keep leg day, but usually a squat should be done with an angle of less than, or around 90 degrees or less. Okay, so let's program that. Let's do all that programming. Now we have the angle. So let's say that, sorry, I'm gonna disable Copilot. Oh, by the way, does anyone know what Copilot does? What Copilot is doing? Okay, so I'm gonna activate it just to show you. It has nothing to do with the demo, but if in case you're curious, because sometimes you can see me programming and it tries to autocomplete everything. I'm gonna try to define Fibonacci, for example. Fibonacci, and you can see that Copilot is telling me what Fibonacci would look like. And I press tab and I have my function there. I don't have to know anything about Fibonacci. Copilot is telling me that. And in case, instead of Fibonacci recursive function, we can go with, I don't know, sequence. And yep, it will get information from different threads on GitHub and Stack Overflow, and yep, different websites, just to do some NLP, and it will tell me how to complete my function or anything. Actually, you can even write text. For example, if I go with a markdown, I'm gonna say, hello, my name is Ivan, and and it tried to autocomplete that for me. By the way, I'm not a student at the University of Manchester, but it's not always accurate, of course. Well, sorry, that was a long diversion. Let's keep going with this. So, as I was saying, let's try to program something that is going to tell me whether the squat is done properly or not. So I'm gonna go with if, let's say if angle is lower than 90 degrees, what you are going to do will be basically, well, sorry, I should say that I have created a couple of variables here. Started, elapsed, started will just tell me, or will help me to detect whether my squat has already started or not. So if I'm with an angle of if my angle is lower than 90, we can just put the started as true at that moment. And at the very moment that my angle is above 90, then started will become false again. That will just help me a little bit identifying when my squat has started and when I can start counting seconds on the squat position. So if angle is lower than 90, then started is going to be true. And let's say that I'm gonna start counting now. T is equal to time.time. And And well, actually, I also have this elapsed, which will count the number of seconds that I'm in the squat position. Well, number of seconds and the number of iterations, sorry. So elapse, I'm not gonna count seconds per se, I'm just gonna count iterations. So I'm just gonna add 1 to elapsed, and if elapsed greater than, I don't know, 20, then board, sorry, and one more thing, we have this variable board that is going to control our Arduino. It's going to be the class, the instance of the Arduino body class that I showed you earlier. So board is going to go with turn-on 12, which correspond to the red LED. No, actually, sorry, actually it should be the red, the green one. Now elif elapse is greater than, I don't know, 10. Then I'm gonna turn on 11 elif elapse greater than 5. Board is going to, yeah. And here, if first, let me just explain this a little bit. If 5 iterations happen, or 5 iterations passed, then I'm gonna turn on the red LED. If 10 iterations have happened or have passed, then I'm gonna turn on also the yellow LED. And if 20 iterations passed, then I'm gonna turn on the green LED. And that means that I hold the position enough time. So that counts as a repetition. So if that also happened, then board is going to add 1 to it. So, oh yeah, and that's why we have I equal to 0, which will count the number of repetitions. So in this case, I plus equal 1 and board I. And so if this happened, then started should be, oh, sorry. And oh yeah, that's why we need this flag here. I forgot that we have if started, since now it's true. And started is equal to false. So once this happens, we are not going to get inside here again until started is equal to true here. Yeah, I know this is going to sound a little bit strange, but if started, wait, am I doing something? Well, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Maybe then we can debug it. But and then else if we are not, or if our angle is not lower than 90, then started equal to false, and board turn off range. Yeah, and if we are not, or if our angle is not lower than 90, then we are going to turn off all the LEDs. So it doesn't count for the, it doesn't count for the final repetition, for the repetition. So let's see if this works. Okay. So now let's take a look at the board, and let's take a look at my body position and see if this works. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm not sure if I programmed that correctly. Okay. Oh, I think that's an error. Okay, yeah. Can you see what happened here? There's a 9 in the number of repetitions. That was too fast. And the reason why is because it iteratively went inside this board, sorry, this if statement. So we need to remove this started. Actually, it doesn't tell us anything, right? If started and just trying to think, how do we prevent it to get inside again? Okay, started is false. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's false. Nope. Okay. This is one of the problems of live coding. It's don't worry, I have the solution here. If started is false, yes. Started. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, let's just copy this, because otherwise I'm gonna be here a long time. There we go. Cool. I'm gonna explain this now. Don't worry. And I have to do it quickly because we are off time already. Cool. So now if the angle is lower than 90 and then if the flag started is false, then we'll just say that, yeah, started is going to be true. So we can start counting how many seconds we are going to start squatting. Then otherwise, as soon as started is true, then we can go here. So we can start counting elapsed time, which will be the difference between the current time and the time when we started measuring it at the beginning of the squat. Now, if that time is greater than 5, then we can just turn on, we can just add one, well, the same logic as earlier. If we squat for 1 second, red light. If we squat for 2.5 seconds, yellow light. And for 5 seconds, actually, let's put 3. I don't want to get tired. We are going to turn on the green light, and also we are going to increase the number of repetitions by 1. Now, if we get out of those 90 degrees angle, then we are going to say that first of all, if this flag is activated, the started flag has been activated, and and we already have been squatting for more than 5 seconds, then we can just add 1 to the number of repetitions. The reason we put this is because maybe there's some sort of mismatch between the time. Between this else and between this angle. Between this if statement concerning this angle. So if that happens, just to avoid getting another repetition done, we can just add that here. And if that happens as well, then we can just turn off all the LEDs. So that means that the repetition is done, and we can just go with we can just start a new repetition. But if elapsed is not greater than 3, we didn't got more than 3 seconds into the squat, then we can just do the same, but we're not going to increase the number of repetition in that case, of course. Okay, sorry, I have to rush it a little bit, but now that's there, let's take a look. So, okay, so for some reason, sorry. How do I get out of here? Okay, sorry. Just one more thing. Now that I see it, is that all my LEDs are turned on. So I'm gonna turn them off before we start this. Here, cool. So now you can see you can see the camera. Everything is ready to go. The 3 LEDs are turned off and the number of repetition is 0. So let's see if this works. Okay. And you can see that the number of repetition has increased by 1. I have to hold this position. Did it increase? Yep. Okay, sorry, I can see it really well from here. Okay, well, and now 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. Wait, what? 3 repetitions? One more. And where's the green light? I can see it. Okay. Oh, 5 repetitions. Nice. All right. Yep. I'm already tired, but I think that worked fine. Cool. All right. So, any question? Now, while I'm resting, yeah, I'll leave you thinking about questions.
Just that one at the end. You held the squat for long enough that it went up by 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't want to make you do squats for a long time, but if you hold a long squat, will it continue to? It shouldn't, but will it continue to count up?
It shouldn't. Right? Why is it? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Could you try doing a 30-second squat just to check?
Yeah, if you could. You might want to just sit on a box or something.
All right. Yeah, let's see. I'm not gonna do the squat, of course. I'm just gonna put it like here. Okay. Yeah, it's stuck at 2. All right. So yeah, after 3 seconds again, it will just squeeze it by 1. Well, yeah. So yeah, that's a bug. That's a bug that I have to correct. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess I haven't tried like a 10-second squatter before, so that's why I haven't detected that bug. But cool. Yeah. Thanks for.
I wasn't here for part 1. That this is part 2 of. Did that explain the MediaPipe sort of the angle assessment and how it works with the
that video is already uploaded, but
awesome.
It's quite simple. Actually, you can take a look at this. It's basically using this equation. It's a little bit of math, but yeah, you can just use this equation that I created and pass 3 different points, and it will calculate the angle like this.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check out the previous video.
Cool. Yeah, and then it will be really easy to use. Like you can just download MediaPipe, and it will automatically give you the model that is going to predict the position of your body landmarks. Cool. Any other question, guys? Oh man, seriously, I'm out of breath. Okay, well, in that case, gonna stop recording now.